What is up? What is up? What is up? We back at it again. We back at it again. Y'all know this is a rescheduled one, man. This is a rescheduled one. Me and Woodzy was supposed to do this one on Friday. Hurricane Elaine, or whatever we call it, came through Friday, and yeah, we had to repackage this one. So we pushed it back to Monday. But yeah, this one was supposed to take place on Friday, but we pushed it back to Monday. So I got two Unfiltered this week. I got Woodzy today, and on Friday I have Matt Welter. So y'all don't want to miss that one either. I got Matt Welter on Friday, and I literally just got back, man. I literally just got back. Yesterday was my 25th wedding anniversary, so we was out of town celebrating. I had to hurry up and get back, get set up, and that's why we starting a little bit late. The guest is in the back. Y'all know how we do. Get a couple people in here, and then we get it popping. I see Juan Garcia is in the building. Events Yours is in the building. I owe you one. I owe you one for missing that live. We just got the times mixed up, but I definitely owe you one. I definitely owe you one. Got some Maker's Mark over here that was left over from the what I was gonna use for the old fashioned. Appreciate it, Juan. 25 years, bro. 25 years, man. Been married since 1999, man. Chad Money Menace is in the building. Yeah, Chad Money Menace is in the building. They Hate Me is in the building, my guy. Joseph Thomas in the building. Phil Mo's in there doing his research. 2 episodes this week, man. Woodzy today. Matt Welter on Friday. Matt Welter will be here on Friday. That's another interview that it's been in the works for a long time. Been in the works for a long time. My freaking eyes is burning. Sorry about that, y'all. Yeah, it's been in the works for a long time. But I'm not going to keep the guests in the back for a long time because, you know, life is life. People got to get on with their life. I'll say this is one of my this is not a creator. This is actually a subscriber. It's not only one of my first subscribers, one of my favorite subscribers. He was the person who was funny because we were talking about extra wallets and I was doing the extra wallet giveaway. And I'm gonna have one of those coming up soon. I haven't done one in a long time. I have 2 wallets. I've been sitting on them. I'm not using them. I'm gonna do an extra wallet giveaway. It's gonna be a surprise. I'm just gonna do it on a surprise because I have every Friday filled up. You know, I usually go live on Friday. I have all my Fridays filled up with guests. So I'm just gonna do it, you know. I might do it on a group live. I might just, you know, go live and do it. But yeah, Woodzy was the first person who ever won one of the wallets. Yeah, he was one of the first people who ever won one of the wallets. But without further ado, let's get it started. What is up, team? It's your boy Sledge from the SledgeIncTeam, back with another episode of 20 Questions with Sledge. And today is the king of extra products, the Sapphire Reserve user. And I thought I was the king of Samsung products until I met this guy. It is my guy, my dog, Woodzy. What is up, my brother? What's up? How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Just got off work. What's going on with you?
Good, man. Good. How you like that introduction?
I mean, I don't know about king of extra, but I definitely help pay their bills.
You definitely help pay their bills. That is for sure. That is for sure. Well, for the people that don't know you, you know, some of the people in here gonna know you, but for the people that don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I'm U.S. Army veteran, live here, ATL, not a fan of Delta, kind of a bad mix when it comes to travel. You know how that is. I got 2 kids, and I've been doing this credit card game for about 3 years now. I had to rearrange some stuff and get myself right to be able to do some of these things and start leveraging things. But I learned a lot real quick, watching John Lang, watching Daniel Braun, and Ant Venture, Calby, all the big players, and it turned into more of a hobby than anything else. So now I'm like Pokemon. I got to collect them all.
For sure. Well, you know how this thing go, man. You've seen a million of these.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask you some questions, some credit card related, some not so much. And if you're ready to get into it, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
What was your very first credit card, and why did you choose that one?
My very first credit card. Well, too bad Richie isn't in here because I got scammed with Credit One like forever ago. This was a decade and a half ago. I gotta say, this is before I knew anything about credit cards. I just got a letter in the mail. I was like, you know what? I need to start building credit. Didn't really do my research. Hashtag do your research. And got scammed by Credit One. I don't even remember which one it was. They probably don't make the product anymore. They changed their stuff up so much. But I was 19 in the Army. And that was the very first one I got, and like maxed it out, paid it off, closed it out, and was done with it. Learned my lesson just because I started doing a little bit more. Went to Navy Fed, got the Platinum Rewards card, and that's a whole nother story. I don't know if you did your research and heard about some of the stuff with Anthony went on that podcast where me and Navy Federal have a love-hate relationship, and right now I'm kind of in hiding from them. So,
right.
I mean, it's been 7 years; they can't catch me anymore. So,
yeah, I know you kind of told me about a story with Navy Federal.
Yeah, it's all good. I have access to Navy Fed. I just can't ever get a Navy Fed.
Right.
So,
and Navy Fed not for everybody though. You know what I'm saying? Navy Fed is for if you want to, you want them high limit credit cards and you kind of want. They give you good rates. You know what I mean? They give you good rates.
Navy Fed is not bad. Just don't ruin that relationship.
Right.
That's all I got. I made that mistake. I mean, could I go back to them now? Probably not. I might as well just go to PenFed at this point if I'm going to do anything like that. And PenFed, they have very competitive cards.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you're rocking both. So that's probably what I'm going to do once I cycle through and I need to, step away from, points and miles. Probably just do that because, I mean, where else can you get 5% on Walmart?
Right. Nowhere.
Where else can you get, your global entry for pretty much free?
For free.
So, I mean, there ain't any other places. So, yeah, I guess Navy Fed, the only thing I'm really missing out on is high limits and free Amazon Prime.
Free Amazon Prime. Can't live without it.
So, yes, Juan, I am an Android user.
Well, for sure. All right, now, since your time with Credit One, we go skip that part. How long have you been in what we know as the credit card game, and how did you actually get into it?
So, I want to say late 2021, mid to late 2021, and again, this is before I started watching videos. My credit score was below 500s because I went through a period where I wasn't myself. I went through addiction and everything like that, and I just ran through and made my credit like crap. And Capital One gave me a chance with Quicksilver. I didn't know the difference between the 27,000 Quicksilvers they got, and ended up getting the Quicksilver One. So that said, I mean, I got the Quicksilver one, started watching videos, started, doing my research a little bit, and was like, oh crap, this sucks. Let me product change to the Platinum card. Guess what? You're in a bucket. You're not getting out. So shortly after that, a couple months later, after, my credit went up a little bit, went to Discover It. Fantastic card, keeper card. I don't care who you are. If you're in points and miles, guess what? Discover It. If that's your starter card, there's no reason to get rid of it. And it's like you say, travel ain't free. Even if you're not paying for your flights or you're not paying for your hotels, then everything you buy, guess what? You need cash back for that. You can't buy souvenirs with points and miles. I mean, you can, but unless you have a $695 card or a Chase card, you're getting half a cent, 0.6 cents per point. So Discover It. I mean, at least 2 out of 4 quarters, you're going to find value out of it at gas or Walmart or Amazon or was it mobile wallets? Like you can find value out of it. So I got to Discover It. And that was my second card, and that one recently fell off my 524. And then from there, I mean, it was pretty much like, quick draw McGraw. Let me get this. Oh, this came up. Let me get this. Oh, okay. Let me get this, and let me do this. And ever since then, I've played the game pretty strategically up until the last card I got. Maximizing subs and getting the highest sub that you possibly can, except for the last one that I got, which was actually second to last one I got, which was the SledgeIncTeam Unlimited, which I missed the 90K FUD cutoff by a month. But I knocked that out like that. So but yeah, none of them I regret. Every one of them I still find some use for. I mean, that's I'm at that point in the game. Whereas if Spencer was in here, I'm like teetering on Dark Jedi here on Sith. Where I'm everything has a purpose still. I'm not just sub hunting, but that is a major part of what I do.
For sure. You started off kind of the same way I did, man. When I started over, Quicksilver. Actually, I had two Capital One cards, and then I went to Discover.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go wrong with that Discover It card, man. I'm sorry, you just can't. Like, I'm gonna have that card forever.
The only regret that it's not really a regret. It's I haven't found a use for them yet. Is I got a stockpile of MR points, and I have yet to find a way to use them. I mean, I'm sure I will. They're not going anywhere. I'm going to start flying at some point. So cool, but I'm sitting on 400,000 MR points, and
it's time to start losing them points, man.
And I guess I'm saving them for my honeymoon. I don't know.
Hey, just make good use of them.
Yeah. So
now, you segue right into this. How many cards do you currently have, and which of those cards will you never cancel?
I'll never just cancel Discover It. I actually use that. I found a way to leverage that even more. Adding authorized users to help, friends or family build their credit. So, I mean, that's one of the longest. Granted, it's only 2-3 years, but I use it like once a month, pay it off, and then it's helping, my 19-year-old daughter build credit. It's helping my son-in-law build credit, who's in the Army. That way he can leverage his military to get travel cards for free.
Right.
So that one's one that I don't think I'll ever cancel, because even once they get to the point where they have good credit on their own, I can drop that back and help somebody else with it. But let's see, what's the card that I got that I don't think I'll ever get rid of? I'm not going to say I'll get rid of per se, but I think I'll always keep a Sapphire product. Whether it be the reserve or the preferred, even after the 48 months, I think I'll drop down and then, go ahead and reapply for another Sapphire product. But I'm pretty sure one of them, and obviously any knowing your fee business cards, there's no point getting rid of them.
For sure. You ever think about getting the Ink Preferred?
Ink Preferred, yeah, I'm not going to get it unless one, it's got an elevated bonus, and two, I know I have spending saved up, because I'm one of those people where I'll stop what I'm spending on, or like I'll save big purchases for a massive one. So until I know I have the 8K already spent, or at least the majority of it. So that's the one that just passed up to 120, right?
Right.
Yeah. So unless I have that 8K already spent, there's no need of me getting that one right now.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that. Yeah, you have to be smart when you making these sign-up bonuses, especially when you start talking about 5K and more.
Yeah.
When you start talking about 5K and more, man, that's serious spend. So you definitely have to start, be strategic with that. When you're talking about the 1K to 2K, especially when they're giving you 6 months to do it, it's a little bit easier. But when you start talking about that 5, 6, 7 up to 10K, 12K, yeah, you have to be a lot more strategic with those cards.
Yeah. Speaking, you just have one with that Advantage. What's the spending limit on that? Not 10K.
7 in 3 months.
Oh,
yeah, 7 in 3 months. 7 in 3 months.
Ain't nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, I had that. I got that one on the day we went to the meetup, which was the 29th of August, and I'll have that done sometime next week. So,
okay. Well, I guess that's good with your little preview from your membership.
For sure, man. I don't know. Sometimes I get a little carried away. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I get a little carried away, but I won't go crazy enough to where I can't make the spin on them.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, now, being that you in the credit card community and you got a decent amount of cards, why haven't you started a YouTube channel? You knew it was coming.
I knew it was coming. Well, one, I didn't have a space to really film. I could pull an adventure and film in my car, but my car ain't as cool as a Tesla. But it's one, just not having a place to film, and two, I'm already working 68 hours a week, and I got 2 little kids. If I started a channel, it's one of those things that I know I would spend hours and hours to make it perfect, and I would lose my family time. And I'm sorry, aside from my own mental health, my girls are number one in my life, and I can't take away the time that I spend with them.
For sure. You got 2 girls?
Got 2 girls. Both of them are hell on wheels, but I love them more than life itself.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man, people don't realize how hard it is and how much time it takes to make these channels and make these videos. So, but yeah, you're doing the right thing. I would tell you, spending time with your kids, man, and your family, and make that work. This YouTube thing or something similar to it always gonna be around. You got what's your favorite credit card ecosystem?
Hilton. Hilton's its own thing. It's its own point currency, so it's its own ecosystem, even if it's on Amex. But the amount of value that I've gotten just out of Hilton and being able to leverage their points. I just booked spring break with my fam, DC Conrad, at over 1.2 cents per point, and staying for 7 days. All I'm paying for is parking and resort fees, and aside from the fact that DC is super expensive. But I don't care that's an aspirational trip, staying at the Conrad, 2 blocks away from the White House, being able to walk out and see the national monuments. The Smithsonian is a stone's throw away. That, and the girls are going to get to go and see, and learn and do things that I never got to do growing up. So, and I can drive there. So But so everybody says that Hilton points are like 0.5, 0.6 cents per point, but you can get so many points so quickly, even without the subs. I mean, it's crazy how quick. Because I did a Charleston trip to go to a wedding, used nearly everything but like 20 grand worth of my points, 20K at the Mills House. Great stay, loved it. Went on Anthony Venture's recommendation again. I keep talking about Ant. Too bad we can't get him in here. Glad he's okay though. But went on his recommendation, loved it. But one card later, and I'm literally already back over $450,000 with 2 free night certificates. It's just so easy to accumulate points. And aside from that, I mean, just chase points are so easy to use as well. So, but if I had to choose an ecosystem, just how easy it is. I mean, you can get you got a card that 5x back, and I stay at hotels all the time, and I book hotels all the time, so it's easy for me to get value out of the Hilton business card. It's $195, get $240. I've already got the planned stay for the Hilton next month, so there you go. I'll max out the $240. I'm already got positive value right there out of the Hilton business. I got the Hilton honors just to get the free night certificate, and just the spending in between. It's just too easy to make points.
It's too easy, man. And on top of that, you think about when you go to this property, even if you go to the property and you pay with the card, you get the points for the card, you get the points for being a Hilton honors member, and then you get the points for whatever status you have. Yeah. You know what I mean? So quick, you can build points so quick with those Hilton cards, man.
At the Conrad, that's over 1.2 cents per point at the military rate. So if it was just a basic rate,
right?
I mean, it'd be even more.
More.
It's if you know, especially if you're going during peak times, it's easy to get value out of their dynamic pricing and knowing how to leverage. Granted, I'm a special case. I'm all the time booking hotels for work. And I think I've spoke to you about that, like how I'm leveraging the Chase card, the Chase Reserve, and how easy it is for me to get net positive value out of that just by booking hotels for work and stuff. So speaking of, shameless plug, if anybody's got the Chase Freedom Flex, check your offers, because there's a get $100 off a Chase travel experience of $500 on the Chase Freedom Flex right now. It just popped up today.
And you got a referral link for that?
No, it's on your Chase offers.
Oh, okay, got it. Oh, Chase offer, got it.
Yeah.
That's what's up. All right, now, what benefits do you absolutely have to have on your travel cards?
So cell phone protection for one. I mean, let's be real here. The phones that we got are super expensive.
Yes.
And I actually did this where I used the Samsung insurance when I cracked my screen, and then used my Chase insurance to cover the $100 deductible. So you can do that. There is a way to stack it for cell phones. I do a lot of rental cars, so rental car coverage is like really big for me, which is isn't that a big one for a lot of people. And then just I've really gotten into some of these concierge services, especially the Visa Infinite service. That one it's top notch. I've tried using the World Elite blocked me out. Chase Infinite, I might as well use it if I got that card. So And everybody says they got issues with, the Chase customer service. I mean, if you got the reserve card, they answer the phone like damn immediately. So, but other than that, I just those are the main benefits. And for a Hilton card, you know, they, they got the national rental car and they got, whatever. I haven't found a need for any airline coverages yet, obviously, but we are planning to travel in the near future, probably next year for flying. So maybe I'll find that, and I will be me personally start flying for work probably next month anyway. So I'll be able to touch back with you on if those are more important than rental car coverage.
For sure. Speaking on the concierge service, Calby, Anthony Venture, and the Critic Frog, and myself have something coming out on Calby's channel where we test all 4 of the concierge services. So, yeah, be on the lookout for that. You'll be surprised though how this turned out.
Who had the Infinite?
Who had the
Infinite? You do, don't you?
Calby did.
Oh.
Yeah,
he's got the Venture X. That's right.
I had American Express. Anthony had, of course, the Marriott World Elite, and Stan used Ritz-Carlton.
Ritz-Carlton's a Infinite too.
Yeah. Is
it an Infinite or is it a Signature?
Is it a I thought it was a MasterCard. I don't know. But I know they have their own. But I know they have their own concierge.
I know. I've noticed the difference between Signature and the Infinite, though. The Infinite is worlds better than the Signature.
Yeah, we left the Signature out on this one.
There you go.
we left the Signature out on this one. I mean, because realistically, you think about. I mean, even with the World Elite MasterCard, I mean, 99% of the MasterCards out there, I feel like if I have a MasterCard, it's a MasterCard World Elite.
Yeah. I got a MasterCard World Debit. Does that count?
No, I'm serious. Like, I feel like most of them are World Elites, but you still get those services with it. So
yeah,
a lot of no annual fee cards, and the same thing with the Visa Signature. But Visa Signature, you have to qualify for the most part at least $5,000 credit in order to have a Visa Signature. So, but that's that. All right, now, what's your favorite credit card for travel perks and why? I got a feeling you're gonna say the CSR.
CSR is great. I mean, I use it all the time for their travel. I mean, if I'm paying $550, I need to get as much value out of that as possible.
For sure.
Let's be real here. Well, $250 effective annual fee. It's still $550 on my bank account, regardless of what I get for it. So CSR is definitely, there, but a lot of people don't realize like the gold card does give a lot of benefits. I mean, $325, it gives a lot of benefits, and so does the Hilton Business. It gives a ton of benefits as well. So, but yeah, you're right. Probably CSR and the Chase Freedom Flex. They give some all right ones too, or at least the World Elite does. It gives some decent benefits.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know what? To each his own. But yeah, I mean, I could tell that you get a lot of value out of those cards. You know what I mean?
But you want the one that gives me the most. That's not even a credit card. Is AAA. I mean, AAA gives a ton. You can call them for anything, and they're able to handle it almost immediately. Whereas not waiting on hold, and they got their own portal to handle stuff. Not saying you should, but I mean, it's always a good backup, especially if you're on the road a lot.
Yeah, that's for sure. Now, everyone has their own strategy, but what is your strategy for managing multiple credit cards effectively? Do you use like Max Rewards or a spreadsheet, or how do you manage your cards?
So I've tried Max Rewards. I still have it on my thing, and I've tried a couple of the other ones. Max Rewards is good, but it's got its flaws. Let's be real here. It constantly having to reconnect, or your stuff gets disconnected and you don't realize it's disconnected. So
Right.
like I can see max rewards being fantastic for the right person.
Right.
I just don't have the time to deal with it. So honestly, I'm a hands-on like kind of person. I have a budget sheet. I actually stole it from Spencer Johnson. He sent me a copy of his, and I tailored it to work for my stuff. Um, and aside from that, I have auto pay set up for statement balance for every card. That way, I never miss a payment. Actually, I forgot to set that up on my most recent Hilton card, and I knew the statement close date. Went to go pay it, a couple days before that, and saw that there was a late fee on it. I was like, "Oh no, can't have that." Messaged them, they immediately removed it because of whatever. So I have a budget sheet that I take care of, and I write down everything that I'm spending on it versus how much I actually make in a month. Just making sure that I actually stay within my limits and I'm not overspending. It's a little difficult for me, and that's only because I literally get reimbursed from work for a ton of work spend. So I can state how much I actually make.
Right.
But I have so much more coming into my account versus how much I'm actually spending because of the reimbursements for everything. So it gets a little bit difficult at times, which is why it's just best for me to, do everything by hand on a budget sheet a couple times a month, and add things, take away things, and that gives you a more high level view of when you got your sign up bonus for Chase, where you do the 24 and 48 month rules, or exactly where you are in your 524, etc.
Man, I need to be more hands on with that, man. Because I wait till the last minute when I'm about to apply for a card, and I gotta go back and look. You know what I'm saying? What credit bureau they pull from? When the last time I got a card from here, and blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? In order to make sure that I'm cool when I get ready to apply for a card. So, yeah, I need to be more like you when it comes to these things. Hey, I want to give a shout out to a couple creators that came in the building. Got Rob from Point Blank Travel saying what's up to Chad. He said what's up to us, but I missed that message. And then we got Jackie Lavielle in here. She is the newest member of the community. So make sure y'all check her out and subscribe to her channel as well. Make sure y'all subscribe to Rob. I got a question for you here, brother. AJK, he say my camera looking great, but he say, what is your 2025 credit strategy, Woodzy?
2025 strategy. Honestly, with how things are looking at work, and obviously, a lot of my car strategy is tied to what I'm doing for work. I'm a logistics manager for a Fortune 500 company, so do a lot of travel, do a lot with providing travel for other people. So I mean, I could do anything from getting Delta to United cards to getting the Platinum card, just to cover most of that. But honestly, right now, thinking about the Delta business, so that's probably going to be 2024, and that's just so I can have some Delta points to fly to Boston. So 2025 is really up in the air. I'm one of those people that I know I got to take a break. Like I got a garden, and it's not because of my velocity, but it's because I know I have an addictive nature.
Right.
And so if I don't take 6 months off a year from just doing that, I know I'm just going to constantly keep applying, and it's not going to hurt my credit. I know it's going to recover, and I know I got the spending habits where I know what I'm spending and how I'm spending on it. But like this game, it is a rush. It is an addiction. You get, if you're not applying for a card and you aren't getting the sweats, or you at this point, I mean, it's just another thing, but for a lot of people, especially for the people that we're tailoring or you're tailoring your content to, it's people just getting into the game or people that are doing the research. They're thinking about it. They're, hesitating every time they press that button. It's a rush. It's just like a hit of whatever drug you want to do. It's just another form.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, man. You know what? Sometimes it just I feel like it's too much of a game. You know what I mean? Like I won't apply for a car for a certain amount of time, and it's like, even if I don't need one, I feel like I need to apply for one. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. So like at this point, I think that I'm gonna cut back. Like I'm definitely gonna cut back, but yeah, I get what you're saying. YouTube Experiment said, touching back on what you said about AAA, he said that his AAA membership got him a free passport photo.
Yeah. I mean, AAA, it's what, $35 a month, or for $35 a year, or 45 now, whatever it is. It's not that much, but the value you can get out of that, plus just the added benefits, plus, I mean, if you don't have military, you're getting hotels cheaper. You're getting flights cheaper. I mean, you can book with AAA rates at that point. So,
man, Caesar asked you a very deep question. If you could only have one car, what car would you use for the rest of your life, and why? For the
honestly,
rest of your life.
that's not that hard. And it's because it's pretty much a one card setup. Think about it. The Hilton was it Surpass? It's what? How much is it now? 150. Cool, got it. But the Hilton Surpass, you're getting at minimum 1.5% back on everything, 3 points per dollar. It hits all your major categories. It gives you enough credits to offset the annual fee. It gives you some travel protections to include primary rental car coverage. Because I looked that up because there was a thing. It might not be as good as the Sapphire rental car, whatever, but it's still a primary coverage. It will hit that first before it hits your insurance. It gives you cell phone protection. It gives you, certain travel protections. And if you're a Hilton loyalist, I'm not going to say I'm a loyalist because I do like staying at Hyatt, but Hilton is my number one if I had to choose.
Yeah.
You can get solid value out of it, especially with the fact that I like to take mini vacations all the time. Once a year, it would be paying for one of those, which I'd be getting $2-3 grand worth of value out of every year. So, yeah, the Hilton Surpass is a one card setup. Plus, let's be real here, you got the Surpass, you can always do the downgrade upgrade option. So,
man. See, I'm pretty sure Caesar loved that question, man. Caesar is he Hilton for life, so
yeah,
he loved that answer. AJK said the same question was for me. I'm assuming it was a question about my 2025 strategy, and I'm gonna keep it real with you. I don't have one yet. Like, I don't really have one yet. I think that I'm gonna lay off a lot in 2025. You know what I'm saying? Because I said I was going to lay off a lot in 2020 and 2024. And I think I did, though. Last year I picked up 10 cars. In 2022, I picked up 21 cars. So I've been slowly going down. I went 21, 10, and this year I've only picked up like 6. And if I get one more car this year, that'll be it. You know what I mean? I might not get any more cars, but if I get one more car, that'll be it for the year. 2025. I think my 2025 strategy is going to be more about fine-tuning what I already have, kind of like not really getting rid of some of the cars. This year, my whole strategy was around my hotel cars. Like, everything's around the hotel cars. It's like the hotel cars and then whatever I work around them. I think next year it's going to be the same, but some of those like $95, $150 cars, I'm gonna get rid of some of those cars, and I'm only gonna have the top cars and the low cars, the no IUP cars, and that's
so
it.
what, you're gonna keep your Delta? You're gonna go up to the reserve?
I'm still thinking about that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I'm gonna go up to the reserve or I'm gonna keep the platinum, because I still look at the platinum as a high-end card, but
yeah, 350.
I still look at that as a high-end card. I would still keep them, even though the Marriott Bonvoy is, what is it, 150. it's 150, but I would still keep it because that car still gets me a free night.
So that's the one thing I really haven't done is a roadmap. I should do a roadmap. I can see the value in doing a roadmap, but I can't. Like every time I go to do a roadmap, it like instantly changes just due to life. I mean, I didn't think about getting the SledgeIncTeam Unlimited until like a week before. I was like, oh, well, maybe I should go ahead and get this because I need 1.5 on everything. But
in December, I'll make a roadmap. I'll make a video about how my roadmap didn't turn out the way that I planned it. So
yeah,
that's how I go.
I mean, even the progenitor of the roadmap, Spencer Johnson, every 3 months his roadmap changes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, go back and retailor it, but I just feel like it at the time. That's another thing I'm really big on. These cards are just tools. You can plan all you want, but with the way things change and how fast they change, it doesn't matter. If it works for you at that time, then it works for you at that time. If it doesn't work for you after a year, guess what?
It's gone. Right. Absolutely.
So
like, I don't really.
What's up, John?
I don't update my roadmap. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to use the roadmap and then go back and see where I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Where I swayed from it or where my thought on it changed at. And then at the end of the year, I go back and do it. I don't change it midstream. My whole thing for this year was to have all my things around my hotel cars. So I did stick to that for the most part. You know what I mean? It's just some of the cars I didn't get. And I didn't even plan on getting a lot of cars this year. I think I got more cars than I said I was going to get. I only had 4. Let me see. Caesar said he has a cutback too. Yeah. It's gardening time. It's gardening time. It's gardening time for, I mean, a lot of us, man. Think about a lot of us who kind of like in this space where we are in this certain group that we in. We kind of started around the same time. You know what I mean? So we picked up speed at the same time. So it's kind of started cutting back a little bit. Let me see.
I don't think anyone's went as hard as you have, other than Kiki.
Yeah. I think Keith was going hard before I even, what I'm saying, got to do it like that though. So yeah. What is that? Lalith? I think Lalith has like 70 cards or something crazy.
No, sorry, no.
Yeah. One of my subscribers who need to make a channel too, his user tag is shine.credit. He told me today he just got approved for a 70-second card, man. Active. Not none closed. 77 open accounts, man. Like that is insane, bro. Like
other than my the Amex points that I got, which I blame CJ because I got his 90K referral starting with that, and then Rakuten was made up the majority of the rest of those points. But other than those Amex points, like every card that I've gotten, I've had an idea of where I was going to spend those points. The Amex points, I just I think my gold card was the what was that? Probably my 4th card going into it, 4th, maybe 5th. Like it was pretty early on in my journey. And I'm one of those people that I actually find value out of the new changes that they made. I got kids who love Dunkin'. I mean, I still use the Grubhub, but I look at the food credits differently. Like I'm one of those people, I get so wrapped up in work that I will literally forget to eat. Like Mrs. Woodzy forces me to eat at least once a day, but I'll forget breakfast. I'll forget lunch. I'll forget, if she wasn't here, I'd forget dinner. But having that credit forces me to go, okay, I need to use this credit before the end of the month, or I'm leaving money on the table. And we know how Chad feels about leaving money on the table. So it forces me to, at least order something a couple times a month, to really evaluate, which makes me, actually take care of myself. And then, I like the new Resi credit. I got a plan for it. Mrs. Woodzy's birthday coming up. Found a place. Going to take her. Steaks are like starting $80 a night or $80 a meal. So I'm gonna take her to do that. I haven't used it. How I'm reading it is the restaurant just needs to be on the Resi platform, but I've been burned by that before with the Amex yearly offers or whatever they came out with. What was it, $50 off a $100 purchase?
Yeah.
And got burned on that. They said no, I didn't count, and I was like, okay, whatever. But yeah, so I actually like how that value process works, but it's probably one of those cards that I know I'm going to cancel just because I'm so frequently getting new cards that have a dining category that why not just use dining as one of my spends?
Right. Use dining as one of your spends. It's for real. Now, when you thinking about credit cards, what is the most underrated credit card benefit that most content creators do not talk about?
Everybody knocks on the what is it, the on the rental car. Even you yourself, you don't rent cars. Even when you're like, everybody uses the Uber or the Lyft or whatever. But I probably gonna say like rental car coverage is really not covered that well. But other than that, I mean the CSR, it's just now getting traction for Lyft Pink. I mean the amount of Lyft rides that I get for my drivers is at least 10, 15 a week, and I'm saving $2 to $10 on every one.
Right.
So, and then, but that's only for 2 years, and then that's going to go away. I wonder if it's 2 years every time you renew, though. I don't think I haven't seen anything on that one. So just optimizing your spend, really, though. Once you're in that gardening phase, like all of us are going to hit at some point, knowing what to spend and what you're going to get the most value of, I guess, or being able to split your points with actual cash to make something more affordable.
Right. I mean, I try to make my content is more catered to, the way I am in real life. So like maximizing spend is just something I don't think about as much, what I mean, on the strength that I because I have another business outside of YouTube, I have enough spend to cover a lot of things that a lot of people may not, what I'm saying, or they may have, they may have the same spend or more spend than me. There's a lot of people that have more spend than me, but I don't think about it in the same way, what I'm saying. But I think once I start cutting back on my cards, some of my content will be more catered to being able to maximize your spend in certain ways. Now, as far as credit card utilization goes, because everybody has a different concept of it, how do you use your cards? Do you only use a certain amount on the cards, or do you just use them freely?
I mean, I use them freely, and then but I pay them off at the end of the month or beginning of the month. I got what is it, like a 20K on my Sapphire Reserve. I used 19K of it in a month and paid it all off, and most of that was business spend on the Chase travel portal at 10x. I mean, and it was all reimbursed. So as long as I have the ability to pay it off, 10, 20, 30, 40%, what's it really going to matter? Because all the credit bureaus are going to see is that it's paid off by the statement date.
Right.
So now business cards are a little bit different, especially ones that, have, 0% interest for, 15 months. That doesn't hit your accounts unless it's a Chase or was a Cap One card. So I don't have a problem as long as the minimum spend is paid on it. That I'm going to pay off as much of it as possible, but I don't have a problem holding a balance on that as much as long as I'm not paying interest on it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I lost space for a minute. Um, Now, with the good, of course, is always the bad. What is the worst credit card mistake that you made, and what did you learn from
Credit one. Capital One, really, just researching the cards before hitting accept. Now, you can get a pre-approval on anything nowadays. I mean, it really doesn't take much, and it really doesn't take long to repair your credit to be able to get an approval on stuff. Like I said, 2, 3 years ago, I was at a low 500s. I literally got, it was like 2 years, and I was almost at 800. I'm over 800 now with high velocity in cards. So you can get credit cards pretty easily, but it's doing your research. And if you're doing your research on credit cards, you might as well allow that to carry over into other financial aspects. Like I was talking to you before with one of Calvin posts, car refinancing literally saved thousands of dollars by knowing when and how to refinance my car at the time to where it's going to be paid off like 3 years earlier than it should be. Or saving and investing, which, I don't know why it doesn't get so much traction. I guess because so many people live paycheck to paycheck, but investing, because credit cards got me into investing.
Yeah.
And, just trying to catch up on retirement goals. So.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Overdue retirement goals. You know what I mean? Overdue them.
I guess if you're talking about mistakes, though, biggest mistakes is, when I was in the military, I didn't take advantage of these military lending acts and credit cards. I could have been like, I can't remember, Butler got like 8 Amex Platinum cards and cycled through all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I did a lot of traveling back then and went to a lot of countries, personal R&R, did a tour of Europe and stuff. So I could have leveraged a lot of that then, but I didn't know about it. So just really making sure you were doing your research. And if this is catching you early, doing your research early.
Yeah, you know what? I don't even know how long that's been going on. Like, I'm not sure, but man, like I had no idea about it until maybe in the last 3 years that those annual fees are waived on a lot of those cards. Like, I had no idea.
I think it was signed back in the early 2000s.
Wow.
If I remember correctly, or something like that. But that doesn't stop people from finding loopholes and stuff like that. So
right.
I think Capital One doesn't even acknowledge it as that. It's just Amex and Chase, if I remember correctly. They're in Citi, I think, too. They acknowledge it. So
yeah, that's right though. All right, now, have you ever been denied for a credit card? If so, would you reapply for that card, or have you already reapplied for the card?
Yes and yes. I got denied for the SledgeInc Unlimited the end of last year. Reapplied for it once I was under 524. I was trying for that 90K offer, failed. So, but I got it. That, and I think my major problem was not knowing how to list my services as one of their 50,000 ways of listing your job on that site. So I went simple, credit repair, because I help other people with credit repair and a lot of stuff to do with VA and helping other people. So
yeah, they don't touch credit repair.
Yeah. So, I just listed it as information and got away with it. I also do a lot with cars. So I think one of my business applications was mechanic and repair, because you can filter a lot of spend through that too.
That's what's up. See, the thing with Chase is, man, unless you over 524, they're probably, you know what I'm saying, like, you probably can get a car with them. Like that. That's pretty much what they're looking at for the most.
As long as they look at it and they think they can make money from you. I mean, being the third largest bank in the world, they aren't really going to care.
Yeah, they don't.
Unless you're trying to do an infinite money glitch, in which case they're coming after you.
I still can't get that one, bro. Like I just don't understand why people don't understand that that's check fraud. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't get it, bro.
Yeah, no, good.
Oh man, nah. How many credit cards do you think is too many credit cards? And do you ever get tired of this credit card game?
Honestly, I don't think there's a max number that's too many. I know there's a max number for me, but my max number is going to be different from other people.
Right.
To keep myself in check, I know I will never go over a certain amount, at least active.
Right.
That doesn't mean that I won't apply for more, but I know I got to cancel one in its place once I get to that point. And one that again, that's just to keep me in check. But everybody's different. Like you have how many? Like 27,500. Yeah. So Kiki, she got 50 some. You bench a couple on 70. There's no limit to how many you can get. It's really just at what point is your optimization so far gone that all you're doing is putting one subscription on a card to keep it open.
Right.
So all my cards get used at least a couple $100 a month, just to make sure everybody's happy. And as long as I'm getting value out of them, then as long as you can get value out of it, then there's no real problem. But if you're literally just putting a subscription to keep it open, cancel the damn card.
Right. For sure. The only problem that you might run into with that is that card has a decent credit limit on it. You know what I mean? Like you get 20 grand on there or something like that, you might not want to cancel it. So
yeah, I mean, I get that, but at that point, you probably have another card open with that same issuer that you can transfer that credit limit.
That might be true. Well, you know what? I would say, no, I have one and I don't. The Apple card. And the only reason I got
that's
card,
going to Chase.
Well, we'll see. And the only reason I got the card was for the channel, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was the only reason I got the card.
So. No, Apple Card's going to Chase, so you're going to be in the Chase ecosystem.
I mean, I'll finally break through on the personal side.
Yeah.
Let me see. You got do
you
have your daughters as authorized users?
Huh?
Do you have your daughters as authorized users on your cards?
I do on one of them. I don't even remember which one. And then I got my oldest, my stepdaughter, but she's my daughter. I got her on one of them, and then but my youngest, I got them on. Got them both on one. So yeah, they're building credit. So I also have, life insurance and stuff that they're in, and then if you're investing, then I got them as beneficiaries on all that stuff too. So you got to make sure you take care of your family in every which way.
For sure, man. I keep my kids on, but I tell people if you want to put them as authorized users, it don't matter if you put them on at when they born or if you put them on at 17. They just gonna get inherit the age of the card. You know what I'm saying?
And then look at which issuers have age limits.
Right, that's true too. I know Chase don't have age limits. I don't think they have an age limit at all.
Chase doesn't. Amex does.
13.
Discover has 18.
18, right. Okay.
And I can't remember if Capital One does, and I don't know about Citi because I'm like you. I don't have Citi. Well, right. You have Citi now, but not transferable. No, you have. No, I'm lying. Never mind.
No, man.
I had to think about that for a second.
8 cards.
Yeah. But no, they're building credit. I mean, do they need it right now? No, but I mean,
you know what? Don't really matter. They need it right now, but you helping them, and because you are the responsible person that you are now with the credit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm pretty sure you're gonna teach them how to move from that point forward. You know what I'm saying? When they old enough and ready to learn about it. So
yeah.
unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, we may not have had that same situation, you know what I'm saying, growing up. So
Yeah, at least it's not the reverse where I'm taking it out in their names.
right. Right. Because you know, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Like that's a real thing. You know, a lot of people might look at these videos and they don't even understand. Like, yeah, everybody's not in these same situations as you might be. You know what I'm saying? Like people live how they live, and people go find ways to get ahead. You know what I'm saying? Like one way or another. So
Yeah.
all right. So question for you: hotel status or airline status?
Hotel.
Hotel
Hotel.
all day.
All day.
Same
I
thing.
mean,
Same with
the
me.
kids got to take a nap. They
Same
got to
with
take
me.
a nap. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hotel status. Come on. I mean, you're in an airplane at max. I think the longest airplane ride I've ever been on was like 15 hours.
Right.
I mean, that's 15 hours. You're laying your head down 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours out of the day. You're getting ready. You're in it. The hotel is an experience, and yeah, you could say that your airplane ride is an experience, but you could just as easily drink some NyQuil, sleep through your flight, and make it to where you're going and enjoy your experience where you're at.
That's you know what, I never thought about that, but you're right. And you know what? And not only that, if you think about it, if you take a 15-hour flight, wherever you're going to, you're gonna be there for a while.
Yeah.
You
So
know what I mean? Yeah, for sure.
I mean, and if you're on that long of a flight, you're going to a place where your hotel status means more.
Right.
So,
Right.
I mean, it's hotel status. I'm not sure about Marriott because every time I've stayed at a Marriott and I've had status, they never really acknowledge the status as much. I'm not saying I had high status. I'm not no titanium or whatever,
Yeah.
gold, but I mean, it doesn't matter what Hilton I go to. I'm getting acknowledged as soon as they see who I am checking in. Hey, thank you for being a gold member. I'm getting texts.
Right.
And then even at Hilton, I've stayed at enough Hiltons where I'm, whatever the Explorers, what is it, Discover status. Every Hilton I've stayed at or Hyatt, they've acknowledged that, but I've gotten up, I get upgrades all the damn time, unless it's like a Garden Inn or something like that. It seems like everywhere I go, even in the States, I'll get an upgrade.
Man,
So,
you go to a mid to a upper tier hotel, it's a high chance you're gonna get upgraded if you got
yeah,
some type of status in there.
we stayed at the same Andaz in Savannah that Anthony stayed at, like literally the same weekend, and we both got the same upgrade. But I booked through with points, and I think he booked through what is it, the World Concierge. But we got the same upgrade.
Right.
So and he was just there a day before I was.
Right. Yeah.
So
You know, it's funny when we went to New Orleans and Stan was staying at the same property that I was staying at, and I had already got an upgrade. So I told him, I'm like, hey man, reach out to the hotel, you know, because they gave me an upgrade already. And he said, man, I never really reach out. So he hit him up. Sure enough, he got the upgrade, man. Sometimes it's as simple as just asking for it. You know what I'm saying? Gotcha. All right, now we about to close out in a little bit. We got a few more questions here. Let's see if we can go through them pretty quick. You got the CSP or the CSR?
right now the CSR, but that's only because everything's reimbursed at a 10x rate. I think last month just in business spend, I banked over 50K points, UR points. So why wouldn't I do the CSR right now?
Yeah, for
Now,
sure.
if I get to get a promotion or go to another job where I'm not spending so much on hotels for people, then yes, CSP all day because it's not worth it. I'm not going to get the same kind of value that I'm getting right now.
All right. Now the next one gonna be, I'm gonna name 5 creators, and you got to describe them in one word.
Okay.
First one's gonna be your boy, Anthony Venture.
Funny as hell. He's just funny.
All right, funny.
Mm-hmm.
Chad Money Minutes.
Knowledge.
Cal
If it
B.
wasn't knowledge, it'd be experience.
Yeah. The dude speaks so elegant. I'm like, man, I don't even like talking around him. You gotta Cal B. Ing or NG or however you want to say it.
He creative. Some of the just stuff that he does with his videos. I mean, I think he got everybody with that black card application video, and that was just so creative that most people didn't realize until the end it was all a joke.
Right. Spencer Johnson.
Motivated. That guy came up so fast, and I've been there since he was at like 1K. The guy is motivated and is living his life. He quit his job and did some of what people would call the worst but smartest decisions ever to better himself and better his what he loves doing. And to me, if that doesn't say motivation, I don't know what does.
For sure. I've been, believe it or not, I've been watching Spencer since he probably had less than 200 subscribers.
Yeah.
Like that long.
And he's evolved.
Might have been less than 100.
He has evolved so elegantly too.
Yeah, for sure. Last one, Do Ross Reports.
Honestly, I haven't watched much of his stuff. I'm not gonna lie. I've watched a couple things, but I haven't watched, and I hate to say it, I haven't watched enough to really to form an opinion.
Hey, this is unfiltered, man. No sense of apologizing. It is what it is. We don't watch everybody. I gotta give a big shout out for Steve for the 2 spot. Appreciate you, brother.
John too. John did a 2 spot earlier.
I put it up there. I forgot to say it. Yeah, John, my dog.
And call me Lonnie.
Lonnie's my dog. Too. Yeah.
That's another one that I recently got into. Call me Lonnie. He's like he started.
Lonnie going up here, man. I'm mad that
Lonnie is an OG. He's not an OG, but he speaks like one. Like
for sure.
He knows his stuff. He researches to the max before he even puts something out.
Yeah, for sure.
And you could tell he like that. And I'm a nerd, and nerd recognize nerd. So
Lonnie's my guy.
Yeah.
Now, it's obvious that you offend the credit card content because you just named off a bunch of people, you know what I'm saying, that you follow in the space. But this is unfiltered, man. Like, this is unfiltered. Is it anybody in this space that you unsubscribe to, or you just don't watch anymore?
John Lane. I just don't watch him anymore. Like, I watched his stuff like a lot, and I learned a lot from him in the beginning. But and there was another one. Who's that other guy that's like super big? I can't remember his name. But at some point, it just felt like they got so detached that it didn't. You got to be personable. And especially in this, you got to know your audience. And, if you're sitting there flashing that you got 1.8 million points and you're every other week, you're going and doing these aspirational trips. I mean, I'm all for it, whatever, but at least, spend time with your audience. And that's personal. It is what it is. But that's what got me into it. And, I'm friends with, all y'all. I talk to y'all all on the side and just BS or whatever. And, that's what keeps me coming back to y'all each and every day. Is just the interaction and the camaraderie that everybody has.
Yeah, for sure. So. All right, now this is the last question. If you did an interview, if you did interviews, Who would be the first person that you want to interview for your channel, and why would you pick that person? And the person cannot be me.
Cannot be you.
No.
Chad. Is it Chad or Anthony? And Anthony, because he's close, and you just bullshit all the time. But Chad actually started watching because of Anthony, and just Chad is just one of those people you can sit there and it would be so easy to just get hours and hours of content talking to him because of how much he, how much experience he has and just his life experience. You can tell it bleeds through. So just respect him, especially for some of the stuff that he's done. I mean, he's literally flown out just to speak to people. We've talked on the side. Our kids' birthdays have the same birthday. I think they're about the same age too. They're like 6 or 7. Because I forget which one, but one of my kids has the same birthday as his daughter. So just some of the Chad. But then again, that's everybody's first answer.
For sure. Like Chad has a wealth of knowledge, you know what I'm saying? Like I got to, of course I've had the opportunity to meet him a couple of times. Mm-hmm. And like just some of the things that he talk about, you know what I'm saying, outside of credit cards in the finance world and just in general in life, man. I'm just like, this dude he just has a wealth of knowledge, man. Yeah. And I always have to big up. I'm older than Chad, man, but I look at him as big bro because first of all, he's like 6'10", big boy. So yeah.
I think Chad was the first one to recognize one of the passive comments that I stated on Anthony's live that we did when I won his extra wallet, because I won 2. But he was the first one to recognize one of the things that I said, and he took it and ran with it and acknowledged it in one of his videos. And I was like, wow, I didn't even think anybody was listening. So,
man, Chad is a great guy, man. Yeah, Joe was looking at me, looking out for me. He just back from China and Vietnam trip, Hurricane Helene. It passed me like it just nothing. Like it was super dark outside. We got a couple gusts of wind. We got a very light rain, and I woke up in the morning and it was sunshine out there. A lot of people in my county, unfortunately, did not have the same luck that we had. Pasco County, where I live at, it got kind of dark for a lot of people with a lot of flooding and a lot of wind damage. But we like to say where we live at is like an invisible dome, and all the storms just seem to go around us. And man,
if you're in South Carolina, parts of Georgia, North Carolina, and especially like the Asheville area, Tennessee area, prayers are out for you. For real. Because I know y'all are going through it. I think, like we said, even Anthony got caught up in it. He's been without power and internet for a while. So, if y'all need anything, reach out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Chad, by the way, you owe me, you're all the time coming through Atlanta. You got to let me know one of them times you got a couple hour layover. I'm going to take you out to lunch.
Yeah. I gotta head that way, man. I gotta head that way. It's 6 hours away from here. It's not that far, so I definitely gotta head that way. So, but before we get out of here, you got anything else to say to the audience?
Yeah, actually, and I hope someone can walk away with something from this, but is knowing yourself. You can do your research on everything. It doesn't matter. You can know every spending category. You can know how to use every insurance or whatever on all these cards or anything financial. But unless you know yourself and know what your limits are and know what you're striving and what you're aiming for and knowing your goals, like this game is kind of pointless because you're just this game can ruin you faster than any other game out there. So So knowing yourself, knowing your limits, and knowing your boundaries is a big one for this game. So it with everything comes risk. This one has a higher risk, especially with overspending and stuff. So just know yourself.
So for sure. Well, y'all know I'm gonna end this the way that I always end it. Whether y'all been here for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, a half an hour, or the whole time, we appreciate you coming out and salute to you.